All right, guys, what is going on? This video is going to be all about a very, very common mistake that beginners make when it comes to selling online. It's very easy to avoid this mistake. When you do avoid it and when you use a different approach, an approach that I'm going to show you, you're going to get hugely improved results. So let's get straight into it. All right, so what is this mysterious thing that beginners are doing that isn't quite working? It is this. I'm going to explain straight away. So when people come to selling their services or their products online, a very, very common mistake is that they focus too much on exactly what their product or exactly what their service is. But what people really, really care about, what sells much more effectively, is the outcome, the end result. So during your sales pitch, and I'm going to break down exactly how to do this, during your sales pitch, you want to be much more focused on the outcome that your client wants, on the result that they want to see from your product or from your service. If you focus too much on what you're actually selling and not what the outcome or the result is going to be, you'll find that you're going to run into a lot of sales problems, and it's just not going to be an effective approach. You might still make some sales, but it's going to be vastly reduced from the number that you would make if you used a different sales approach, an approach that I'm just about to show you in this video. So let's get into it straight away. All right, so kind of counterintuitively, people purchasing something don't actually care too much about the features, the details, the specifics of their product. Why this is a problem is a lot of people starting out in sales, that's where they want to focus. That's where they're most comfortable talking about. That's what they know the most about. That's what they feel the customer is going to care the most about. But unfortunately, that's not the case. When people purchase something, they purchase it for an end result, for some sort of outcome. So maybe they have a problem in their business that they want to get rid of, or maybe they have some sort of goal that they didn't hit last year, they didn't hit last month, and they want to hit that in the future. Vast majority of the time when people buy something, they're buying it because they have a fear of loss, or they're buying it to potentially get some gain. So what I mean from that is when they buy a product or they buy a service, it's because they have some sort of pain point that they want to move away from. So maybe there's a problem in their business, maybe their finances aren't that great, maybe they have some sort of aspirational goal for themselves or for their business. So they want to move away from one point that they're not happy with, and they want to move towards another point, which is their preferred point to be. When they consider any sort of purchase, they're going to see it from that perspective, the perspective of moving away from where they don't want to be and moving towards where they do want to be. So when we get too in-depth with features, with details, with specifics on a phone call or in person when we're selling, it's just not relating exactly to how people are viewing it themselves. The person who's purchasing your service or purchasing your product cares much more about how this is going to help them than exactly how it works. After they've made the decision to buy, now they're going to care about how it works, and they're kind of going to backwards rationale their decision to buy by basing it upon features, by basing it upon details. But that's not their initial decision to buy. Their initial decision to buy is going to be based upon your ability to communicate how this removes them from where they don't want to be and how it's going to get them closer or to that exact location of where they want to be, either in their business, financially, personally, whatever. There's also another thing to consider. When you discuss features too much, it makes people very sensitive to thinking about price. So if you have a very low priced good and you're the cheapest person on the market, this is perfect. Discuss a lot of features. People are going to start mentally adding all those up. And now that you have a really cheap price, they're going to go ahead and think, okay, great, this person has the most for the least amount. The problem with this is, for a lot of us selling, is you're not the cheapest and you don't want to be the cheapest. So if you want to charge a good price, if you want to make good profit in what you do, you have to have people think about it a different way. And you want them to think about it in terms of value. So quite simply, people are going to pay the most for what helps them the most. They're not necessarily going to pay that much for just a bunch of stuff that doesn't relate to any specific goal. So when it comes to making a purchase, especially a bigger purchase of a higher amount, people are looking for value. They're looking for something more than exactly what the product or service is. They're looking for how it links to what they want in life, what they want in their business. So let's get into some actual examples. Let's not just keep discussing this theoretically. Let's see how it actually breaks down on some sales calls. Have some examples here. So for me personally, I'm a web designer. I've been doing web design a little over 2 years. I run a 6-figure business. These would be some examples for me of possible sales calls. So I'm going to break down 3 different ones. The first one's a personal coach. The second one would be a construction builder, and the third one would be a lawyer. All right, so in this first example, I have a personal coach. So let's say I get on a sales phone call with a personal coach, And what comes up in the sales phone call as I ask them questions is they have a clear issue with checking the progress of their current students. So I do a little bit of coaching myself. This is definitely a problem. Sometimes you have students and you're not too sure if they've watched certain videos, if they're actually progressing through the course. So if we're doing this kind of the incorrect way, the ineffective way, we would be focusing on the features and details of our possible solution. So at this point in the phone call, somebody new to sales, they might start discussing, okay, well, I have a software that can solve this issue with your students. It does this, this, and this, and it works on this sort of system. It's based on WordPress that has this sort of login, and they get really in depth with the details and with the technicalities of the solution that they're selling. The personal coach, he's going to care about this a little bit. He has a clear problem. This is something that's annoying him. It's something that's impacting his business. So he's going to listen, or she, and they're going to care a little bit, but it's not going to be anywhere near as effective as discussing the potential outcome or the potential results of an effective solution. So a better way to sell to this coach would be go, look, okay, I have a really good software that I know is going to fix this problem. Once I put it in place, it's going to mean that you can check all of your students in real time, see exactly where they're getting stuck, see what videos maybe they've rewatched that they might want to know more about, see when they've finished, so then you can get in touch with them, maybe offer them future training, get some feedback on the course. You'll be able to do all of this in real time. It's going to be really, really easy to set up. You don't have to worry about any coding. You don't have to worry about the back end with this. I'll have it ready to go and very easy to monitor everything that your students are doing from any sort of device. So just a hypothetical example, but it's much, much more effective because this is linking into his goals. It's freeing up his time. It's making it easy to upsell to his clients. It's making it easy for him to, catch potential students that could be having issues, to get feedback at the end of a course, all these different goals that he cares about. He's going to care much more about this stuff than he is the technical details of the solution. So this is a much, much more effective way to sell to somebody. You're linking what your product or service does with the outcome or the results that they want and showing them exactly what it means to them in terms of time, in terms of freedom, in terms of, potentially more income, whatever their goals are with this business. All right, so let's do another one. We have a construction builder. So somebody builds houses or whatever, and the current site doesn't have any photos. So again, if we're going to focus on features, if we're going to focus on details, we might say something like, okay, we're going to build you a better site. It's going to have a photo gallery. People can go in there. They can view all those images. It's going to be responsive, so it's going to work on all different devices. I'll have it so that every photo is in very high definition, and there's going to be a little button there, and they click on it, it's going to pop open to full size. So I'm exaggerating a little bit. I don't think anyone would go into that amount of detail with the features, or maybe they would, but you can kind of see already, hopefully, how that's not as effective as discussing what that means for the builder. So again, don't focus on what it is, focus on what it does. We could tell this builder, look, we're going to have some great photos on the site. We're going to have a really good gallery. What that means is when people come onto your site, along with the text that you already have, and you have great text there, now when they go to this photo gallery, it's going to back up everything that you're saying. You're going to have very, very clear instant examples of the great work that you've done. All these different styles of construction you've done in the past, you can very clearly visually show that within a few seconds that you're this versatile, professional, experienced builder. And when they look at this, they're going to instantly know and trust what they're reading alongside these images. And the two of those are going to combine to make a much more effective selling system. All right, so that sales pitch is going to be much more effective with the construction builder. He's going to have a very clear link to what we're providing and how it helps him, how it helps his business, how it helps his finances, getting bigger clients, better clients, clients who much more understand what he has to offer, and maybe even people who didn't even know that he was suitable for a certain job before. So this third example with the lawyer, let's say in this case, she has a website that doesn't allow people to currently book online. Again, we wouldn't go into discussing what an exact solution is and the features of that solution. We would keep it high level, keep it linked to the things that she wants to see in her business. So, common themes of what people want is, more money, more time, more freedom. So keep it kind of to those themes. There's more, of those themes, but there are three kind of main ones you can use in the beginning. So for this lawyer, we might say something like, look, at the moment, your website doesn't allow people to book online. I can put a really good system in there. It's going to be very easy for people to go ahead, pay for your time instantly. When you check online in the morning, you'll see who's booked in for that day. You can do online consultations at whatever time you want. We'll set it up so that you can decide which free time you'd like to use every day. People will book in. You'll get an email letting you know. You can also check again in the morning. You'll only have to check it once a day. It won't allow people to book in on the same day, so you won't have anyone on short notice. And this is going to be a great way to potentially get new clients during the time that you already know that you're not doing anything in that particular day. If you don't have anyone on the phone, you can go ahead with your normal business. If you do, just put a little bit of time aside, and that's potentially, a client worth a few $1,000s, and you're also getting paid to take that sales call. So I'll set all the system up in place with the new website and, so on. You keep going with this sales pitch. But during that sales pitch, she doesn't know exactly what that product is. She doesn't know exactly how that's going to work. She just knows what that means for her. It's going to be easy to check. It's going to mean she's making money off the time that she's already doing nothing in a particular day. It's going to mean more clients who are already much more interested in working with her, who've shown that they're already invested by paying, and much more benefits. All right, so there was a lot of details in that. Hopefully you took it all in. 2 general principles you can use straight away from this, put it into use, is this. First thing, before you make a sales phone call, think about not the features and not the in-depth stuff that you're going to pitch them on. Instead, think of the end result. If they use your product or service successfully, what should they see as a result? What sort of benefit would they be interested in from what you're offering? List down what those benefits are. There should be multiple ones. And then during the sales phone call, keep the focus on those points. Try and keep it off exactly what it is that your product is, and keep the focus on what they care the most about, what's most interesting to them, what's most motivating to them to go ahead and purchase whatever it is that you offer. The second thing is, if during a phone call, a sales phone call, you find yourself talking about a lot of features, you find that the conversation is starting to get bogged down with, what exactly this is, how exactly it works. Start trying to move it out of that place, and again, move it back to discussing the end result. All right, so to wrap this all up, when you base your sales pitch on value, people see it as an investment. If you're basing whatever it is that you sell on outcomes, on results, on that end goal of whatever people want, they're going to see whatever price you offer as an investment. So it could be expensive, and people still see that money as worthwhile because it's getting them closer to that place that they want to be. On the other side, if you sell based on features, all people care about is a deal. They want it cheap because it doesn't really mean that much to them. So the only way they're going to buy is if they get a lot of stuff for a very low price. All right, that's a wrap for today. No more. I can keep talking about sales forever. Guys, subscribe if you want to see more stuff on sales. I'm going to be teaching you kind of advanced techniques, beginner techniques, all sorts of stuff to improve your sales, grow your business, make more money. Hit subscribe. Leave me a comment if you have any feedback, any suggestions. A like is obviously definitely appreciated as well. I'll catch you in the next video, and good luck with your sales.